All right, Chair Jackson, we are live to go. Good to go.
Thanks everybody for attending. I'd like to call to order a meeting. Millbrook Valley Trails Advisory Committee, Monday, November 24th, 2025. Start with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the township of Cabamonic is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory and the traditional territory of the Mississauga Shinneback. We offer our gratitude to First Nations for their care and teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachings. Okay, approval of the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Follett, for typing up and distributing the agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add, omit? No, could I have approval of the motion to approve the agenda? Mr. Follis, seconded by Lan. Mr. Natchoff, all in favor? Okay, minutes of the meeting held October 27th, 2025. And thank you to Mark for distributing these. Everybody had a chance to go through them and please read them. Gary, anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, additions? Omissions? No. Okay, a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 27th, 2025. Griffin, seconded by John, all in favor? Okay, moving on to report, section 6.1, financial report with Griffin.
Yeah, so currently as of today, we do have the invoices in, but they're not processed yet. So contracted services is still sitting at $2,000 availability. Materials and supplies is still sitting at $3,566.96, but the invoices have came in for the spraying and the wood, and they are just in processing right now.
And I saw Sean's buckthorn culling.
Yes, it came in too. Yes, they're with finance right now and processing for payment, so they're not off our document yet.
Okay, so we'll have an update on that, I guess in January then. We can assume that those will be cleared by year end.
Oh yeah, they should be this weekend.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Any questions, concerns? Motion to accept financial report. John, seconded by Maureen, all in favor. Thank you very much. I didn't note that Meredith had anything to say in her email. You didn't get anything additional? Okay.
No, she had no updates.
Pass on that. Do we need a motion, Mark?
No, there's no updates, so no motion.
Would this be an opportunity, Chris, for you to talk about the Manitoba maple stump in the work?
Oh, I can update on that too. Yeah, I guess that was okay. So, the stump that was behind the willow at Baxter Creek, so we did have staff went in and removed the stump and they've cleaned it up there, and yeah, so that is complete now. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And yeah, Orca was good with the works and we're good.
Okay, any questions, concerns? No. Okay, moving on to the trail report then. Who would like to go first? John? Okay.
I can briefly touch on mine. There wasn't really much to note, honestly. I took the trails south of Zion, walked them over the course of November. It's very mucky. The foliage is all coming down. You can really see the effects still of the last that ice storm from last winter. It's definitely very apparent now that all the leaves are off the trees, but it didn't seem like there was really anything that had fallen since onto the trails or anything like that. Overall, it was really quite pleasant out there. Again, just a little bit mucky on the days that it wasn't frozen, but overall, nothing really to note other than what folks have called out in the past with some of the boards and south of Zion there, but by the stock ponds, but nothing too crazy elsewise.
Okay. Great. John?
Thank you. I did north of Zion, and Station 12 was in good shape for staff. There are some skinny trees, some of them dead and some of them just, I think, suffering because of the wind that they're leaning over the trail, but they're not really impeding traffic. But sometime when that route, they can knock them down. And specifically, there's one buckthorn that's leaning over by the car. Cargun Trail was in good shape. I took a picture. I wonder if we maybe should be adding another section of railing where the stairs go up. I don't know why, but when we were out there, it seems to me that's opened up and people could wander off, but I never noticed it looking like that. But but it struck me that day, so,
Well,
anyway,
something we could think about for work day.
yeah, anyway, I don't think it's. I don't think it's serious, but it just looked different somehow. On the loop that we used to call, or I used to call the Lost Trail, there's a cedar branch that's been pushed down into the trail by another tree that fell over, so, at some point it could be knocked down. There's a couple of places on Baxter Creek, sorry, that was Baxter Creek Lost Trail that I was
Yep,
talking about. And in efforts to avoid water in one location, the pieces of wood have kind of stopped the flow, and I thought it might be more effective if we had some flagstone to set in there in the base and people could walk through and the water could flow over top. Then there was another windfall hanging over the trail as you're approaching Zion. And I noticed there's 2 boards. I did go as far as the trout pond, and I noticed there's still a couple of boards that need to be put back into the section of duck board or boardwalk south of the road. Theater Trail has, in my terms, continued to deteriorate, and I guess maybe we should plan to replace. I think there's about 12 sections of 8 feet long there. If we had funds in 2026, but if not, we maybe should put money in the budget for 2027, unless we're just going to discontinue maintaining it. I think this is the driest walk I've ever had through there, which kind of surprised me after all the rain and snow. And then coming back north on Baxter Creek from the fairground post was one notable muddy section. I ran into a guy and said, you know, it's muddy up there. He was going the other way. He said, it's okay, that's what I'm used to, and that's fine with me. So, you know, I guess as days go or as time goes by, we're probably going to just keep adding boardwalk, but need to have people who appreciate our trails as they are even. And then there was another blockage where we do have a boardwalk, but at some point people put a bunch of, looks like 4x4s down in, and that's another case where the water is kind of backing up because of it. So I don't know. These are things that
Yeah, we will go through them one by one here.
if we should be doing it, that's something we could probably do. And then again, I missed the budget meeting, but I understand from the work plan that we are planning to. No, more. We're doing a section of station, I guess, where we're putting in boardwalk this fall.
We discussed that.
Yeah. But this particular section, there's kind of a sag in it that I was hoping we could maybe get out and straighten up before winter, and then I would assume some of these we try to do something with next year with our budget.
Yeah.
And this particular section is the one as you're going up from where Mids Mountain at the south end from Mids Mountain Trail splits off from the Baxter Creek. And we put in a new section. I think that was this year or the year before. But the old section is getting a little bit tipped over that I thought maybe we could level it up, and it might be one that we could consider for rebuild.
But it was always at different levels though.
Yeah, these two are at different levels. It's just this one's kind of gone sideways on us.
Okay.
That isn't the section that I went out and measured this year that we discussed. last
Yeah,
week?
yeah.
Yeah, that's, is it?
No,
That's
That's the, oh, okay, you're talking about.
This is
This is just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, well, thank you for that, John. We could maybe go through it one by one. I've got some thoughts and some updates. So Chris, you've got the note of those locations on Station Trail. It's not a high priority, but maybe something you could.
Station Trail, we got the permit on them.
No, I'm sorry, I'm talking about.
Oh, this stuff here?
The deadfall.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, okay, I don't think it's a high priority.
Yeah.
Maybe can wait till spring. As I said, the Fairground Trail, John's note about adding another section of fence at the stairs, I think it's probably valid. I went and looked at it this afternoon. And like I said, I think we could do that. Think of that as a potential work day project on May. And then Baxter Creek Trail, the Cedar Branch, you took note of that, Chris. Again, not a huge deal. The flagstone or flagstone note here at on Baxter Creek as well that you noted. So we do have monies left in the materials and supplies. And that we could get a load of flagstone. We did have a load of flagstone a number of years ago. It kind of, we used some of it and then some of it kind of got sort of lost when we, when the station yard was sort of redeveloped and graded over. But so we don't have any flagstone in our possession now, in our inventory. Yes, thank you. So that could be something that we could discuss tonight about purchasing. Chris, March 31st is fiscal year end?
The end of the year, December 31st, yeah.
Is fiscal year end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we should think about spending remaining monies this.
Yeah,
tonight,
so-
if we have it.
Trying to think of what, how much that wood was.
Well, we've got over $1,000.
Yeah, there'd be over 1,000 in there, yeah.
Cause usually about 1,500 the wood in the mud area, so that's
Yeah,
right.
I'm thinking it was around 1,800.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the committee authorized an offset limit of 2,000. I have a copy of them.
Yeah, I think we ordered more wood than usual.
Yeah, I think it came in at.
But it's got
Over
about
18,
a little over
18.
1,000. So we could think about purchasing flagstone, not necessarily certainly $1,000 worth, but. And two boards meet on the boardwalk leading to the North Pond at Zion Line. I'll try to get to that tomorrow. I made note of that. The blockages on Baxter Trail, we should probably remove those because that's a bigger deal in the spring runoff.
Okay.
So we could discuss tonight who might be able to do that and or when. The walkway here that's sagging, I remediated that this afternoon, so that should be done. I apologize, I didn't get out, there was a 4-foot board missing and somebody replaced that.
We made, Chris's.
Oh, did you?
My guys were, did a
Okay,
few of them, yeah, there was
I
a
meant to
couple
get to
that came
but
up later on too.
busy with other things, I apologize. But the sloping, I think, is remediated. I think it'll get us through the next 6 months. But I mean, obviously, it's a temporary solution because we are going to replace that section. Now, whether we do that in a workday or our usual workday or a separate workday, I think we'll have to look at that come spring. We've sort of passed the point now, particularly next week, bringing cold weather and potentially more snow. But yeah, as I say, I think that will be, it looks fine for the winter. Also at Men's Mountain Trail, I think this, replacing this 8-foot section, John, or just sort of re-angling it, we can do that in the spring. I took a look at it again today and I don't think it's a huge issue.
No, I don't think there's anything that's
No,
dangerous.
the boards are actually in good condition, so maybe we just need to prop some wood underneath it or use some concrete posts or something as we're going to with this new section above. Any thoughts on that? We can bring up potential purchasing of flagstone now or at the end? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. I think if it's within the item that's being discussed right now, that's part of the trail report, you're addressing issues on the trail, then go ahead. Just sit down.
Anyway, that was just my thought. I mean, flagstone, we have used flagstone extensively in those before. As I said, as John said, we don't have any in our inventory currently. I don't know what flagstone goes for. It's not cheap, but I don't think, I think it's a fairly cost-effective solution for some of the things we want to do. Chris, if we did purchase some, is that something that the township would prefer to have delivered? Or is it?
Yeah,
something
we'd
that they-
get that delivered, yeah, usually
Okay.
comes on a skid, right?
Yeah, okay, that's not something that township would want to go pick up.
No, yeah.
Okay, well, I know we could do an upset limit. Again, we won't have a meeting next month, obviously, because of the holidays. So this is our last meeting of 2025 and there is still money left. Again, we don't need to spend the money. It certainly goes back to the pool if we don't spend it, but if there's a need, certainly, that's what it's there for. So I'll put that out there. Any thoughts, John?
I think, like, if we've got the money, I think flagstone is something,
Well, certainly
there's
doesn't.
lots of places that I put a couple of pieces of.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't go away. It's not like
Right for municipality. Okay, got it.
Here's, do you want to put an upset limit? Purchase of flagstone and delivery?
So the price is usually around $2 to $6 a foot. Square foot.
Can we just get
Two
clarification?
hundred to 550 per ton.
Can we just get clarification, Chris, of what the outstanding would invoice is for? So we know how much got left to play with?
Yeah, I believe it was 1800. 1820, I believe. I don't have the invoice on me.
Yeah, and I didn't,
So we had,
I didn't get the invoice.
What's their total again?
3566, $357, $5,600, $3566.96, correct?
356696, yeah.
Minus 1,800.
And then plus municipal tax.
So that gives you 1700.
I'd say about 1900 maybe, municipal tax.
So, sorry, Chris, you said how
Yeah, about
much,
1600.
how much for the stone, roughly?
So here, this is the Peterborough landscape, just a Google of it, and it's $2 to $6 a square foot. It usually runs from 200 to 550 a ton.
The ton, they don't denote how much is in a ton, how many pieces generally speaking?
No.
Okay, Peterborough Landscape is where we purchased it before, I know, I remember that.
Thought we had a PGG special or something.
Yeah, we got a scroungy skid from.
Yeah. Just from a practical standpoint, the township kind of, because we'd be doing the purchase, we kind of avoid purchasing from Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or that sort of thing. We would prefer to go to Peterborough, proper business.
Realistically, do we know of any other expenses that we're gonna have to discuss in this, just to, if we're gonna set an upset limit? Are there other costs that we're gonna have to worry about, or can we just set a higher upset limit
And not use it.
and not?
Yeah,
We don't use it.
absolutely we can, yeah. The only cost we discussed previously is that section of boardwalk of Baxter Creek, but that'll be the 2026 expenditure. And maybe, and may need to be an additional request depending on the cost. Correct?
So we have, so I applied for the permit for the station trail and it was approved. So I added onto that the Baxter Creek. So it's on the same permit now. So they just added it to this permit.
Okay,
So this permit is open right now until October next year.
Okay.
So these works can take place right now. They can take place whenever.
Yeah, okay.
Before next year, but there is a lot of boardwalk to be done in here, so. I would suggest starting on some boardwalk this year if you can.
I don't think we'll be able to
Starting
do
on-
it this year.
On purchasing?
Building it, like you have the wood, right? You can,
Yeah,
you can purchase more wood.
Well, we don't have.
Like, it's not gonna be a workday project, cause there's a lot of boardwalk here.
We don't have the
Yeah.
pressure treated wood or the concrete blocks.
Yeah.
We've only got.
So maybe you wanna purchase that stuff so you can start on the boardwalks.
Just for the committee to know, you did approve a $1,500 upset limit, I believe, for the work on Station Trail. So that also, that's.
So that's
money
already there,
Yeah.
yeah,
taken.
so that's your 1,500.
But given that we're now into like December, which typically is a month in which we have other stuff to do besides trail work, that work won't likely get done before 2025 ends. 'Cause we're-
Well, that's up to you guys, right, if you wanna go ahead and do it or not.
As I understand it, though, as far as the budget goes, that doesn't necessarily matter. What matters is what we.
You can buy the
purchase this
material,
year.
and then you have the material,
So
you
if
can
we-
add it in the spring. Yeah.
Maybe make a plan to buy flagstone and the necessary concrete blocks, so that we have the first thing in the spring, we have everything, we need to just do it.
So they've already used that $1,500. That, cause they've set an upset for materials. So they really, would they have to,
So the upset limit is more so just to approve spending up to that amount, so it doesn't nix anything out of the budget as long as the committee doesn't overspend. It's fine. So for that project, if you want to do purchases, you can do purchases up to $1,500. Just be wary of anything else that you approve that might take you over the budget. For instance, you could approve $5,000 an upset limit for the Baxter Creek Boardwalk, but you can't spend past the budgeted amount for the year for the committee, regardless of any upset limit approved. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So right now we have money budgeted to buy wood, but we don't have any wood in inventory. Is that it?
We don't have any pressure treated wood, we've got cedar,
So,
but the new requirements, the new, what do we call it, bylaw guidelines,
Policy.
policy requires pressure treated runners and cement
okay,
It
so.
doesn't require it, it requires
block.
either one, rough cut or pressure treated.
So for Station 12, we could use the rough cut that we have.
You can use the wood you got, yeah.
But we'd still need some expenditure on deck blocks
Deck block.
or.
Need blocks,
or
padded pads and 4x4 posts. And your hardware.
But we have 1,600 beyond the 15 that's already set. Layer
You
beyond
said-
the wood, sorry, we have wood in inventory already
Cedar.
that we can use.
Yes.
We don't have to use the treated.
That's right.
So we could spend some money to buy the slabs plus some of the supports, is that correct?
That's right. So that's what you already set the upset limit for.
Mhm.
You already said that.
Why don't we just set a upset limit also for the slabs and then we go in and make sure we stay under 16 for the combined of the slabs and the concrete. We just have to have someone do that, right?
By slabs, you mean flagstone?
Flagstone,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
We just need to have someone figure out how much we're getting from Peterborough Landscaping and how many pieces of flagstone we're getting and how much of that we want to be flagstone versus deck block.
Chair, so do we have an idea of what this cost is gonna be for the replacement for this for next year? Cause it sounds like we don't have enough money in the budget for next year to pay for this project to be completed. Right?
The
With the whole new
project,
budget.
what?
To do the replacement for the station trail bridge that we were discussing. Not bridge, but boardwalk.
No, I think we do.
But
We
what
do?
you have,
Okay,
so what you have in stock and the money you have.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
The
I
committee,
just wanted to make sure that if that's the case and we have a shortfall, then we maybe look at adding an additional, like I know we're asking for the 15,000 to council for doing a new master services plan for that. So if it's a matter where we ask for an additional $5,000 to get this or whatever additional boardwalk replacements that are gonna exceed the cost of what supplies and materials we have for next year, we might want to include, because we're not gonna have another meeting before you meet with council. So maybe that's a matter where we have a contingency of a $5,000 add-on as an ask, and then if they turn it down, then they turn it down, but if we don't ask, then we're not gonna get it, but I would rather, it just would be sad that we were $2,000 short on what we need for next year to do this, and who are we kidding? We're probably gonna find some other additional thing that we could use
Mhm.
between now and next year, so.
There's also the signs, screaming and installing the signs,
Yeah.
$250 each, and we want them
Like,
to be ready.
we really should hammer out what our numbers are now before because if we don't meet again and you're gonna present to council next month. We need to have a dollar amount we all agree on beforehand. Cause it would just totally suck that we go into January when the council approves budget and it's like, we should have asked for.
So the motion has already been put forward,
Mhm.
the budget
For-
council motion, yeah.
Yeah, so to the committee through the chair, you do have $6,000 for materials and supplies in your ask for the coming year. And that is more than the previous year, so unless, I think, we were in the room there, and I think our understanding of the projects that we have currently, that is within budget. I don't think you disagree, Chris, as far as I know. I don't want to speak to.
So what,
Okay.
sorry, for clarification, you're saying, Chris, the motion's already been put forward, the motion for the 2026 operating budget, or the motion for the money that I'm asking for council in December?
That is the 2026
Yeah.
capital motion for budget, yes.
So it's
The budget is.
Like, we can't ask anywhere than 6.
To you, Chair Jackson, and the committee, to revise the budget motion, I think it would have to have been included in the agenda beforehand, and you would basically need to hold a special meeting to revise the budget, but it's already been submitted to finance, so it's not the point in time to.
But beyond
revise it.
that, there's also the 25,000 for the update to the master plan.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's included in the motion as well.
okay. Anything?
So that's
else?
why you're presenting
Yeah.
the council, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just for the committee to recap, it's $6,000 for materials and supplies, $2,000 for contracted services, and $25,000 for a new trail master plan, and also any funding for the additional lands needed to construct the new proposed trail on the grounds of the former Sound and Mansion. And that's the short version of the trail that only traversed one private property.
So I will let you know that I received a quote today for a trails master plan, so I did go ahead and ask for a high level quote on the trails master plan. And they came back with $50,000 to $100,000.
Oh. And I'm
So
selling the
this might
mercantile, I'm
be,
getting
yeah.
into master planning, oh my god. Okay,
So this is, you'll have to discuss with council and sell to council.
well, you had sort of anticipated it might be 50,000, that we might end up having to ask for the same amount again.
Yeah,
Here in 2027, so I'm not shocked about that end of it. The other end of it, 100,000. Whoa.
through you, Chair, so if this is the case, I don't see the purposes of doing a double ask. Because you're having two different councils, so if we're gonna ask for the master services plan, can we amend that ask now to go up? Because we've been now provided with an updated information from you of what this cost will be. We can't, can we?
Not just because of the
Yeah,
budget
no, I
meeting.
understand, so.
It would have to be in the agenda beforehand. That wouldn't be an accountable
So we would have to
process.
have a separate special meeting then just to do this amendment, right?
Yeah, yes, that would be the
Do we
dual
want to do
process.
that? Because this doesn't make any sense that we're gonna ask once and then ask a separate council and they're gonna say no, and then we're stuck with half the funding for that with potentially.
but it's good to put the money away, right? Like if
No,
you're
I
asking
had
for
it.
25,000, you put 25,000 this year, we've got a quote since. And we know it's gonna be more than that, so we're looking to put 25,000 in this year, next year.
Yeah.
We'll be looking to put another 25,000 in, or 5,000, 5,000, 5,000.
But what if the next council decides that they don't wanna fund it and there's 4 years of the sits, like, obviously, we've waited 15 years. So it's not like 5 more years is gonna be the detriment, like, we obviously wanna be on top of planning, but. I think, without having the buy-in of future council. I don't know, I'm only trying to like, kind of get ahead of where we are right now.
John?
So my perception is we probably still should go ahead and try to get the flagstone and what we think we need for the supports for the boardwalk. Cause if we can build boardwalk out of the regular, like our rough cut wood, then it's gonna be $6,000 will go a long way to build a lot of, if we don't have to use treated. So
Yeah,
that's,
you can use both, either one, either or.
so,
Yeah.
but I still think we should go ahead and try to get the slab stone and we might as well, if we've got money in the budget. We might as well, if we know what we want as far as the supports for the trails, whether we use it this fall or have it in inventory, is that still okay?
So we've got 2 issues on the table. We need to clarify how much we want to spend by December 31st. And clarify how much we spend by December 31st, and to Lance's point, make a motion to how we're gonna approach this
Special meeting,
special
second
meeting
vote,
or
or just stay with where we are right now.
I don't think there's time.
You don't think so?
Timeless.
So I can follow up with the committee what the options are, but because of there's a specific process for the
Mhm.
budget submission for the committees. If you don't mind, I'll follow up with staff afterwards and give you a proper answer. I don't want to say anything that our treasurer will contradict. And this is probably not the first time a committee budget has been resigned. So I'll follow up with the committee afterwards about that. But for now, I believe the committee's budget is submitted as is, and it might have to stay as is until the council meeting. And so we'll talk on a staff level. In terms of your existing fundings, you already have the $1,500 upset limit and still have money in your budget. I don't want to speak for Chris, but if you have you have an approved project and you have the money and you're already dedicating the 2025 operating budget, whatever, even if you can't get the work done, I think it makes sense to do the purchases.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've set the upset limit for the material
Mhm.
already, John, the 1,500's there.
Yeah.
That's approximately what you have left in your budget. So my recommendation would be to go ahead and get the material
So
to
there's
do the
no-
boardwalks, get the boardwalks complete.
No,
So if you wanna get flagstone, you could do it this year or you could do it in next year's.
I was just gonna say, there's no,
Like, it's
we're not gonna
there's no
distribute the
rush.
flagstones this year.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
could be a 2026.
It's no rush, yeah, you can make
Just
purchase.
just to go back to point, would it be the township's opinion that we obviously continue to ask for the 25,000 for a trail master plan at December's council meeting? And ask that it be put in situ or escrow, whatever, holding, based on new information that we now know that it's going to be potentially double that cost or more.
So you have your motion already, which was going to council.
Right,
And
but we
it's
thought,
just
we thought that was. gonna-
Yeah, we'll just discuss that we have got a price since that time and this is where we're at now.
We were pretty certain to cover it.
Yeah.
We were pretty certain it was a partial amount.
Okay,
Yeah, so maybe it's just a transfer to reserves and next year another ask on top. Yeah.
okay, John,
We don't know until we get quoting in, so everything's just, everything that's really going to budget is an estimate at certain periods until pricing actually comes in. Or year-end invoices come in, or it is an estimating game for the first one.
If we get the 25,000, can a portion of the consultation be done as we gather more information about the proposed Mansion Trail loop and go move forward on that, even if the whole master plan hasn't been updated?
I think with the master plan, it's sort of all in, like because it's gonna encompass everything, right? Like it's gonna encompass the whole township and it's not just gonna be downtown Millbrook Valley Trails, it's gonna encompass Gavin and all around, like where suggested trails would be. That might not come up as a suggested trail. And it, like in the master plan right now, that isn't a suggested trail, right? Like there's lots of properties that are out there that could be utilized as trails right now, but.
Especially with the development in North Cabin for that would be the opportunity for, not just Millbrook Valley, but they could maybe, we could establish a second part or the trails could introduce a thing that would be specific to, new trails in the north end.
So you have one quote so far, is there?
I just got the one, it's just a company we use and I just to see where we're at.
And you're not limited to the companies that you can request?
So it would go out to an RFP if it was
Okay, and is there a deadline on that has been? is
an
there a deadline?
RFP.
Yeah, is there a deadline where proposals have to be submitted by a certain date?
Oh, it would be, so if it was, if $25,000 was approved or 50,000 or whatever was approved for a master plan, then we would put out an RFP in 2026, which would
Okay.
have a deadline on it. And have all the criteria we're looking for,
Yeah.
and then any company could submit.
You just have a ballpark quote.
That was just the ballpark, just to get a number, just,
So it's possible that there could be something.
it could be high, it could be low, it could be way out. It's just
the township has not set a deadline on when a new trails master plan must be completed.
not out of yet.
I understand, okay.
I don't even think that was on their radar whatsoever, or
It was it's been on the work plan for a long time.
on the work.
Yeah.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's, yeah.
John?
So I don't have too much of an opinion about the supports, because I don't really, like, I think we'd be asking Chris for advice because mostly along the trail, along Station Trail, it's gonna be pretty level, so. But I do think we could, like, we don't need a huge amount, right? It would be nice to have a huge inventory of slabs, but on the other hand, if we even had a few pieces of slabs, it's not that hard to carry them that far and get that thing out of the water. So like a small skid, I don't know, what's a small skid? $200?
Yeah, I would say, I don't think they're all that, like the
Like,
deck block ones aren't that expensive, or if
Well,
you
sorry, no,
wanna
I'm
go
talking
with
about
cottage pads.
I'm
or-
talking about flagstone.
Oh, you mean the flagstones?
Because I don't
Okay,
even know whether like whether we just need like patio
Yeah.
slabs to set the thing on for the trails, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the flagstone, we could fix that mess if we had probably 4 or 5 pieces, I would think. But if we're getting something delivered, we might as well get it. I suppose they're just gonna charge by the pound anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they
no,
said
it's not-
between 200 to 500 per,
105.
to 550 per ton. Why don't we just do a half a ton with the assumptions about $300 or so? And then have the outstanding balance of 1,200 go towards pressure treated wood or whatever we want, and we'll just stash it in inventory till next year. And then John can we can work on those immediate projects now before it gets too wet out.
I think, Dave, there's probably the odd place on the Ganny Transit that you could always use another
I think there's always,
place,
place.
because the more people walk on it, the more of the muddy.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not gonna.
It's not gonna deteriorate. So I would make a motion, we spend $250 to get some flags. And I don't know, again, Chris, if you think you have an idea of what we should be ordering ahead for say Station Trail, whether. Like, as far as.
We can't use flagstone, or I wouldn't wanna use flagstone for.
No, I wasn't suggesting, it was just.
For like deck blocks and stuff you're talking
For
about.
deck blocks and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
So here's maybe the question, do we foresee that lumber's gonna go up in price or down in price by next year? Or, and the materials for deck blocks, is that gonna stay somewhat constant? So are we better to hedge and buy wood now and thinking it will go up more next year? Like,
I think you've got wood in stock right now. I think it'd be a good idea to get your deck blocks and your hardware.
Okay.
And then you can go out tomorrow and build a boardwalk. if
Okay.
you want it, right?
Okay, does somebody wanna make a motion?
Like the one on Station Trail isn't all that long. What was it, 20, 30 feet, Saskia?
I think it was.
It was 20.
I think it was longer than that. I can't remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head though, but
Yeah.
like I'm thinking we should be buying like at least 100 of those just on the projects that I was talking about, because you're 4 every 8 feet and then extras for the ends, right? Because you're two
Every 8 feet, yeah.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
2 extra on the ends, so it was up quick.
You think we need 100, that one?
Well, I'm just thinking of all the stuff we were discussing, and it's not like they're gonna go bad. You're 10 feet, you're gonna need 40 of them. Okay, maybe not like 100, but maybe 50.
50?
50, that'll get us at least the projects we've discussed so far. And then spend the money on that hardware, and then anything extra, whoever's ordering these just has to be tracking that. And then we have money, we set a higher upset limit for flagstone, and then can do whatever, up to 300 or whatever.
Yeah.
flagstone.
Or two, right?
Yeah,
Is it different for every?
flagstone, do we want to order a certain amount of pressure treated, like is it easier to cut more the size?
Not too expensive.
Yeah.
You know, cottage
Any of
fence or.
those?
yes, okay.
We need 4x4 pressure treated for the posts.
Yeah, so it's,
So really, you get into a deck block, you can range from $5 to $10 for a deck block.
Or deck or pads. Pads are easier in a lot of ways. Are they about the same price?
Peterborough Landscape Supply sell PT wood? Don't think.
Just landscape supply, hence the anchor.
Well, I've used PT wood for that.
Yeah, no, it does, there's like mulch and stuff like that.
No,
Gravel. Yeah, no, so it'll come from 2 different suppliers. I mean, I think generally we get our wood from non-cedar and trail supplies from Merritt Home Hardware, because the township has an account there, and you know, it's kind of close, the closest for us anyway, in terms of.
Yeah, I can't see the price of the cottage pad, but
And it's Canadian.
You can't?
no,
No, okay.
well,
Okay, but yeah, I think they're generally the same. From what I remember. Okay, so I think we just need to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we spend $250 on,
Upset limit.
the
Flagstone.
flagstone in Saskia, if you want to come up with a number for,
Well,
We've got the.
we've already got the
Yeah,
upset
you-
limit for the other stuff.
Oh. so then the hardwood, you're not worried about hardwood. Okay, so I'll just make it for the flagstone.
Includes 1,500.
1,500 includes all that stuff, right? So,
We've got.
as long as you, between the flagstone and that, don't go over your 1,500-1,600, then. You're good.
So,
So the motion's for 250 for Flagstone with the remaining balance of the 1,250 going toward materials and supplies. Or,
Well, we've already got the 1,500, so we're.
Yeah,
We're talking.
you just don't spend, yeah, you just don't
Yeah.
spend, you just don't spend the full 1,500, right?
And then a second. Kurt? Let's ask all in favor. Okay,
Just from the knowledge, are you doing that ordering then?
Chris, once I know what that order looks like, I can talk to you about
Yeah,
if you'd like that delivery to pick that. It's beyond my capability, but. pick that
yeah,
up.
if it's, actually, if it's only 250, we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the additional, like the deck blocks and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause delivery's not cheap, but sometimes it weighs, right? So, okay, any other questions on that before we move on to 7.1? No, okay, any further discussion? Bring up.
So just one more thing, and when we talked about replacing 2 boardwalk of the duck board towards south of Zion. But the only complaints I've had about the trails lately has been how slippery that duck board area has become. It's as slippery now early in the morning as the boardwalk up to the old school used to be before we put shingle down.
I don't know if we have any more shingles.
Yeah, so
Also, just on that, I know we've just put down some more shingles, but I don't know if you've been on the walk to the old school recently, but they're not durable and they make it look like crap once they've fallen off. So maybe we need to
What do
rethink.
they do about the weather?
yeah, no, yeah.
Put like a
we-
grit stain on them or something.
Didn't we also, on that same bit of the old school trail, have some of those, the double nails that just have a
The
little
hook nails.
hook nails
Yeah.
and that, because that's still down on that bit in
Mhm.
places, I think.
That work, yeah, so it's a lot of initial effort, but once it's down, it's down. We could think about that,
Or just think
That
about
could be
other options.
a workday thing too, right?
Because I agree, I mean, I know exactly, especially when you're close to the trees, that last 10 meters or so,
Yeah.
does get very slick.
Someone actually did kind of like a physical comedy type of dwindling thing going on.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, well, we'll keep it in mind. Okay, 7.1.
Just need a motion to receive the trail report for discussion.
Motion to receive the trail report by Brown and Paulus, that's good, seconded by John, all in favor.
Can you say Q2?
Next hour.
Oh,
No. Okay, work plan, town let's plan update, with that. I'll touch base with Mark and Chris after the meeting, just to finalize that. Maybe I'll need to speak with you prior to the meeting in December.
Oh, the council meeting. Yes, please, if there's any questions you have about the budget preparation
Yeah.
presentation,
Yeah.
please give us an email. I think I shot you an email with the date that we need the materials by. It's the Wednesday before the council meeting. Or sorry, it's the Friday before the council meeting that we publish, but we would need any committee budget presentations by the Wednesday, just to have a chance to review them and make sure everything aligns. So if there aren't any, we don't want to have a thing where you shoot us an email on the Friday and then there's some issue and it can't be included in the council thing. So
Okay.
please follow up with us.
I believe it was December 3rd.
December
That sounds
3rd. Yeah. And because the meeting's on the 11th.
Yes, so I know the Monday is December 1st, so the first would be the Wednesday, and that's what we want to stop by.
Okay. North Trail expansion. I've not heard any more about this. I saw the school board release some concept drawings of the new school, but I've not had any more information on the subdivision draft plan approval. Do you have an update?
So I don't want to speak too much for the planning staff. I just know there's this subdivision plan is going through the process because it was one of the subdivisions has been going through one of our committees, but I don't have any update ourselves. We can
No update yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3, we discussed, we'll talk about that at the council meeting. GIS mapping of the MBT, my understanding was that was discussed at the last meeting in October.
Yeah, so we did the demo and actually myself and Maureen got out for a walk. So this week? This week?
Yeah.
Last week, sorry. Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
We got out for a walk last week and we started to log some
Photos.
some benches, some signs, some photos, yeah. So we did Station Trail, we went up to the fairgrounds around Baxter Creek and back down up Meds and yeah, so we got some more to do, but
It wasn't,
We gotta-
I mean, to be frank, it wasn't the nicest day out. We did get rained on and the light was not fabulous for photos, but
So,
it was, yeah,
but,
it just, it gives you some idea of what you can do while walking around.
yeah.
But
So the biggest thing is we got
still got
the-
good stuff.
We got the coordinates of stuff anyway, so we
Yeah.
can change the photos, like we
Oh,
got
yeah.
the GPS coordinates in there for
Perfect.
the sign, so if we wanna change the sign, we just go into there, and change the picture, so.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, and I understand people were quite pleased,
Mhm.
quite impressive, yeah.
It
good.
was,
Yeah, so there's still a little bit of work of logging everything, and I think Kirk, you're gonna help out with some pictures.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure out how to get around it, and yeah.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, my apologies, I wasn't here to see it. Okay, number 5, John, any?
As far as I know, it's ongoing.
Oh, go.
Do that out of the way.
What was that? Oh, yeah, John, we have a draft and we will be meeting with them. We got here soon.
Okay, number 6 on hold. Number 7, still ongoing. Number 8, Dave, so it's still on hold. Okay. Number 9, I can talk to Chris about that offline. Number 10 is completed. Yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
it's completed for this year. I'm off
Hey.
duty.
Hey.
Not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
number 11, Chris, is that still a draft or are we?
We're just, yeah, we'll bring it back as final here after your comments, yeah. It'll be coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ongoing, leave that as ongoing. Number 12, remind me, did we come up with wording?
The committee did approve a recommended wording. It was just the committee is just looking to supposed to follow up with Bob Spitz to see if they are okay, they give their consent to the wording, and then we can move forward with the remainder of the process.
Something to do with, I'll try to get you that this week.
Yeah.
Number 13, we talked about.
That's all for the plan.
That's it. We need a motion to receive the work plan.
Yeah, for the updates.
There's a white list. There's a motion, something about meeting all in favor. You do.
So it was John Holland, Gillen, and, Sean's assistant and I have worked for him, and he makes a good team. We got a lot done, so I'm very happy with that one.
Excellent, thanks very much. Some point two, 2026 meeting schedule and travel plan schedule. You have that? Or what else?
Just for the committee to know, normally you would meet in October and November because it's an election year though. Literally your meeting in October would be our election day, so clerks are gonna be unavailable, so that's a no-go. And the November meeting, in an election year, we normally don't hold a November meeting because the new committee is not appointed until December typically, once the council goes through the orientation and everybody gets reappointed in closed session. So there won't be any meeting past September for the following year.
Review chair, just a question, then all of our budgetary decisions actually made in September?
Yeah, we did make the budget motion in the previous September meeting, and usually we have to have our budget submission, committee budget submissions by the end of September. So that, I don't think that should disrupt the process. If there is a need to call a meeting for a specific purpose, the committee can call a special meeting, but there's a certain threshold for that. So there was one year that a special meeting was called in October of an election year, but ideally we try to avoid doing that because it is kind of a lame duck period for council. So there's only so much decisions that can be made in that period.
Yeah, everybody take note of that. And do you have a proposed, or you do?
There's a trail report schedule as well. I just followed the same formula, so hopefully everybody likes their partners.
Nobody else goes with that?
I think, am I okay with that? I think we do need to have someone surveying the trails and being in touch with, I mean, especially in the months. Anyway,
Well, I think
there's usually
We would,
people out
yeah.
there, yeah.
we managed in the past.
You can still do observations of the trail, just because the trail report is literally something that's assigned to committee members as part of the terms of reference. And so that weird period where there still needs to be the committee reappointed or new committee members appointed, technically you can't formally be assigned a trail report. This is just procedural stuff. But please, if you see any issues, just make note of them or forward them to staff. We're happy to look into them.
Okay, everybody's made note of that. All right, so we need a motion to accept that.
Yes, please, if you do not mind.
Motion to accept 2026 meeting and travel report schedules, please. John, seconded by Gary, all in favor. Wonderful. Any items for our next meeting, which will be in January? No, not at this time. Okay, I'm sure they'll have some, so if I can move to them. Next meeting date, January 26th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Shall report by McDonald and Nathan. For that. We have a motion for adjournment. John, seconded by Griffin, all in favor. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time, everyone.